For a short period of my childhood, my dad worked in Canada while my mum, sister, and I lived in Northern Ireland. Money was tight, and we lived with my grandparents in a cosy, semi-detached house in 9 Clover Hill Walk. My grandfather would excitedly cook us liver and onions every morning for breakfast, much to my sister and my distress. And the house was heated at 30 degrees centigrade all year round to tackle my grandma's arthritis. "Sam, will you shut that door? There's a draft." Every few weeks, we would travel to Belfast for a big family gatherings on my dad's side. At these family events, my uncles and male cousins would ritualistically congregate in the kitchen. The smell of Old Spice and Regal king-size cigarettes hung heavy in the air as they consumed alarming amounts of Guinness while discussing Liverpool Football Club. I was always more comfortable in the front room with my aunts, performing songs from my school play or doing impressions of Steve Irwin. "Crikey, look at that massive crock. I'm going to poke this stick right in his eye. That'll really set him off." But alas, hanging out in the kitchen with the men was a rite of passage, and I had to serve my time. I would quietly sit in the corner and listen as they talked with such passion and conviction about legends such as Ian Rush, John Barnes, and Peter Beardsley. So that Christmas, all I wanted was the latest Liverpool football shirt. It was bright red, had the iconic Adidas 3-stripe down the sleeves, and most memorably had Candy, a popular 90s household whites good brand, sponsor on the front. I was convinced this was the key to my family's male social order. I remember each day in the playground, I would admire it as I swapped panini stickers of Bruce Grobbler and David Burrows with my schoolmates. Got, need it, got. There's just something about that shirt. Christmas morning came and I ran down the stairs like every other excited kid ready to open up my presents. An explosive cocktail of excitement and anticipation coursing through my small 9-year-old body. I had it all planned out. I was going to put the shirt on straight away, then run around to my best friend Neil Street for a Christmas morning kickabout. After the mandatory stocking opening and a few standard warm-up gifts, socks, selection box, cassette tapes, etc., my mum handed me my final present. This was it. This was the Candy shirt. But it wasn't. Instead, I got a plain, shiny, red, brandless sports shirt with an ironed-on Liverpool badge. My heart sank, but I couldn't tell my mum. I knew money was tight and she'd done her best with Dad being away. I smiled, hugged her, and set the shirt by the tree. The next week back at school, I nervously wore the shirt to football training. And at the end of practice, I got into a quarrel with another kid over a bad tackle. Then the inevitable and feared insult was hurled. "Yeah, well, you're wearing a fake Liverpool top." I felt a lump in my throat and the tears well up in my eyes. I was deeply embarrassed and lost for words. All eyes were on me, and the pain of this kid's cut down made a comeback impossible. Then, out of nowhere, my best friend Neil declares, "It's their new training shirt, you idiot." He said it with such conviction that everyone in the team believed him. He also had the clout of being one of the team's best footballers. If he said it, then it must be true. All of a sudden, my cheap market stall Liverpool football shirt was transformed into a rare, hard to get Liverpool training shirt. I wiped away my tears, puffed out my chest, and walked proudly back to the changing room in my Liverpool training shirt. I'll never forget that moment. Neil rescued me. He stood alongside me. He used his voice when I didn't have one. I'm 38 years old, and I still want to be a guy like 9-year-old Neil.
That is so lovely. Thank you very much, Kevin. What a lovely story. That kind of thing. Are you in any touch with him now?
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, and I don't know why, but all these years I've kept the badge that was on the original fake Liverpool football shirt, and I don't
Ah,
know
very
why
nice.
it came off, and I just always kept it. Yeah, I reached out to him probably on Facebook maybe 3 years ago, and said,
Ah,
I
great.
still think about that time in football training in P7. So